Hi CC families, this is Mrs. Shannon with Cycle 3 Week 2, and I wanted to make another video. I realized I didn't talk about history in my last video, so I want to for sure do that today. So first we're going to start with English. I showed you before these books that I made for each of my students. We're talking about present participle today. So I wrote present participle in pencil, so the kids can trace that, and then they're gonna write ing in the blank there. So I'm gonna coach them on how to do that, help them walk around, help them do that. And then as they're working on that, I'm gonna teach them a song to this, to the tune of Happy Birthday. So it goes like this. A present participle is a verb plus ing used as an adjective or a verb. A present participle is a verb plus ing used as an adjective or a verb. So that is English. Again, I'm going to, probably walk around, sing that song with them, have them sing it with me when they're kind of done writing. And I give them a sticker. This week I'm going to give them a little fish sticker that they can paste on the front of their book. I have their names on the front of each book. I printed their names off and laminated them, and so they get to decorate their book with a sticker each week. So by the end, they'll have 24 plus stickers, which is just kind of fun. So that is English. Next, we're going to do timeline. And I have these cards from the Classical Conversations bookstore. They're an awesome resource. I would use them at home and with tutoring. And we do the same timeline events every single year, so you would get lots of use out of them if you invest in them. But I found these at the dollar store. I put the first letter of each event on each card to help the kids kind of figure out which card is what event. Excuse me. And so I'm going to have these hidden around the room before the kids come in the morning. And I'm going to tell them after I collect their English books, I'm going to say, okay, go find one timeline card that's hidden around the room. So they're going to find one and then bring it back to the table. And then we're going to go over the events in order. So for example, I'll say, okay, the first one is 7 Wonders of the Ancient World. 7, what does that start with? It starts with an S. Who has that? And they'll say, oh, I do, great. And then whoever that is will go stick it. I'll have painter's tape 7 pieces on the wall. They'll go stick it on the wall in order. Once all the timeline cards are up on the wall in order, then I'll have the kids go up and stand against the wall in front of a card, and we'll go over the motions. So we'll have already done this in our big group time, but I like to do it in the small group time too. So I'll go over them with you. Sorry, I have a scratch in my throat. So 7 Wonders of the Ancient World, Patriarchs of Israel, 2000 BC, so you go 2 and then put your 3 fingers together for 1,000. So 2000 BC, 2000 BC, and then Hittites is Hittites, Canaanites, Cush, you make a K, Assyrians, and then Babylonians, Law, so an L, Babylonians, China's Shang Dynasty for the coat that they wore traditionally. Excuse me, so it goes like this. 7 Wonders of the Ancient World, Patriarchs of Israel, 2000 BC, 2000 BC, Hittites, Canaanites, Cush, Assyrians, Babylonians, China's Shang Dynasty. So that is timeline. All right, next we're going to do geography. So our director got us these trivium tables for geography, but you can also just, if you don't have these, you could print out this map of the United States and the other one that we're going to use later. You could do one on the front, one on the back, and laminate them. They're in the Sandbox magazine from CC Connected. So that's what I did previously, but then our director got us these, which are bigger. So before class, I'm going to have outlined each state in a different color that we're going to talk about today. And then when the students come in, I'm going to give them these maps, or I'm sorry, when we're to after timeline, I'm going to give them these maps. And every week I'm going to have them outline the United States just to get a really good idea of the shape of the United States. So I'm going to have them do that. So first though, when I give them their maps, I'm going to give them these little shark keychains I think I found at Target, just because some of these states border the oceans. There's probably some sharks, just kind of for fun to have them have a little pointer to point to each state. So we're going to go over each one together. I'm going to have them point with me as we go with their sharks. So Montpelier, Vermont, Albany, New York, Trenton, New Jersey, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Dover, Delaware. And I'm kind of singing to the CC State song, that tune. So I'll have them point with me a few times doing that. And then I'll probably give them a dry erase marker, have them trace the United States, and then maybe color each one in and try to sing these with me. So again, it goes Montpelier, Vermont, Albany, New York, Trenton, New Jersey, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Dover, Delaware. So that is geography. So after that, we are going to do math, and we're doing the 3s and the 4s this week. So for 3s, I have them written up on my board, and I'm just gonna kind of go through them and have them sing the 3s along with me normally once. So it goes to the tune of Jingle Bells, and it goes like this. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39, 42, and 45. And I'm going to spread these action cards out on the table. And so they say things like bunny hop, soldier march, horse gallop, different things. I'll link these below if you're curious, but you could probably just search action cards and all kinds of things would come up. So I'm going to let each student pick one, and we're going to use some of them for the 3s and some of them for the 4s. So for example, after we sing it normally, we'll be like, okay, we're going to do the bunny hop to this. So then we're all going to get up and bunny hop as we sing 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, etc. And then the 4s, after we do the 3s a few times, the 4s go to the tune of This Old Man. So it goes like this. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, 52, 56, and 60. Okay, so again, I would have maybe the ones that we didn't do their actions yet, do some actions for the 4s. Or you could just feel it out. You know, we're supposed to go over it 7 times with them. You could just feel out, you know, maybe sometimes you do 7, sometimes you do a little less, just filling out what makes sense. So that is math. And then next we're gonna do history. I'm not gonna forget it this time. So we're gonna do silly words. I love doing that. I've said in my previous videos, it just works really well. And so I'm gonna stick with it for a little bit until I feel like we need a change. So what I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna read this history sentence to them normally. So in 1620, the Pilgrims sailed from Plymouth, England, and signed the Mayflower Compact before founding Plymouth Colony in North America. So then I'm going to tell them, okay, I'm going to read it again, but there might be some silly words that pop in there. So if you hear a silly word, raise your hand, tell me what word didn't belong, and tell me if you can think of the right word that should be there instead of the silly word. So I'm going to start, I'm going to say in 1620, the piggies, and they're going to, piggies? No, what should it be? Oh, the Pilgrims. Okay, so in 1620, the Pilgrims sailed from Plymouth, Legoland. No, oh, what should it be? Not Legoland, England. Okay, let's try again. In 1620, the piggies sailed from Plymouth, England, and signed the Grasshopper. What? Not Grasshopper. Oh, what should it be? Oh, Mayflower compact. Okay, let's try again. And so I'm reading it the correct way each time until I get to a new silly word so they're hearing it a lot. So after grasshopper compact, I'm going to do before founding bumblebee colony instead of Plymouth colony, and then in ice America instead of North America. So, but you can make up your own. I'm not really great making up on the fly, but you could do that too. So that's what we're going to do for English. And then I have, let's see, where is it? I have this, first of all, this printer from Printable from Kimberly. She makes history, math, and science, and then she does hymns for each week too. I've linked her below, but I have this on my board, and then I have this coloring page from Etsy. I have this linked below too, that if we need like a snack break, I might give it to them to color some, or I'll just give it to them at the end of the class, or if we have some time, or just to take home. So that is history. Latin, I'm going to have them repeat the Latin and English back to me. So et and ut, that, non, not. We're talking about conjunctions and adverbs. And then I'm going to teach them a song that goes to the tune of 5 Little Speckled Frogs. And it goes like this. Conjunctions and adverbs, Latin and English, et and ut, that, non, not, whoo, whoo. Conjunctions and adverbs, Latin and English, et and ut, that, non, not. So then I have these silly voice cards. So I'm going to spread these on the table. So I have voices like robot voice, or let's see what else, granny voice, queen voice. Some of them are easier to figure out than others, cold voice. So I'm going to spread these out, and I have these linked below too if you want to check them out. I think I got them from Etsy or Teacherspayteachers, I forget, but I have it linked below. And then we're going to sing the song to some silly voices. So I'll have each kid choose one, and we'll sing it once to each silly voice. So like, for example, if I did let me find one that I could actually do. Okay, mouthful. So we could say, you get the idea. So that's what I'm going to do for Latin. It's just kind of fun. They love the silly voices. So I use that a lot. And then next we're going to do science. So which bones make up the axial skeleton? First of all, I'm going to tell the students the axial skeleton is like our core skeleton, and we are born with 270 bones, but they fuse together, and then we have 206 after the ones fuse together. So that's kind of interesting. And then I'm going to model some hand motions to these, so pretty obvious, but skull, we're going to point to our head. I'm going to tell them that the skull has 22 bones in total, and it includes the bones in our ear, which are the smallest bones in our body. And then vertebrae, I'm going to point to my spine in the back and tell them that there are 24 individual vertebrae that make up the vertebral column. So just some fun, interesting facts for that. And then ribs, we're going to point to our ribs, and our rib cage is comprised of 24 ribs. And then sternum, point to my chest here. It's also called the breastbone. So that's some things I'm going to share with them about science. And then we're going to try to do the hand motions to a tune of this song that goes head, shoulders, knees, and toes. So it goes like this. The bones of the axial skeleton, skull, vertebrae, ribs, and sternum. Which bones make up the axial skeleton? Skull, vertebrae, ribs, and sternum. Which bones make up the axial skeleton? Skull, vertebrae, ribs, and sternum. Which bones make up the axial skeleton? Skull, vertebrae, ribs, and sternum. So I'm also going to tell them that a fun fact is that I'm going to say, did you know that humans have tails too? For 4 weeks, a human embryo, so a teeny little baby growing in the mama, has an extension to the spine that looks like a tail. And it is most prominent in embryos 31 through 35 days old. And then after that, it slowly morphs into the tailbone. So I'm just going to share that with them. And then I have another, let me see if I can get it. Another science printable that I'm going to show them. It's going to be on my board from Kimberly again. And then this Etsy coloring page I'll either send home with them or let them kind of work on depending on time and if we need a break. So that is science. I think I didn't skip anything this time in the new grammar. Did English, timeline, geography, math, history, Latin, science. Yeah, just want to make sure I didn't skip anything. Okay, so now fine arts. I'm going to use some printables from the book Drawing with Children by Mona Brooks. And we're doing mirror images this week. So first of all, I'm going to say, all right, a mirror image. So for example, something that's the same on both sides. So like on our body, we have eyes on both sides of our nose. So, or on the left and right side of my face. So they mirror each other. What else on our body are mirror images? So talk about ears. We could talk about, we would have nostrils on each side, hands, arms. There's all kinds of examples. So I'm going to ask them for some examples of that. And then I'm going to model on the board. I'm going to use my dry erase board to just kind of draw half of an eye and mirror the other half of the eye, since we're talking about eyes in our science experiment today. So I'm going to just model that. It's pretty simple, you know, side of the eye with the dot, and I'm going to mirror it. And then I'm going to hand out, after I just model that quickly for them, I'm going to hand out this paper. This is from that book, Drawing with Children. And I'm just going to have them practice mirroring this other half of each of these items. So this is pretty simple. I have 4 and 5-year-olds, so I want to start with a simple one. I might just leave it at that. If I feel like we have some more time, I also have these as well. And I'll link below where I found those as well, so if you want to use those. And so just depending on time, I might send them home with them too if we kind of run out of time on that. So we're going to do that with fine arts today. And then for presentations, I'm having them bring 3 things in that tell us something about them. So they're going to bring 3 objects or a picture or whatever and share with us, like, what do these 3 things tell us about them as an individual? I'm going to encourage the kids to be quiet and keep their eyes on the presenter. Think about a question that they could ask them. And I'm going to encourage the presenter to speak loudly so we all can hear them. Again, these kids are really little, 4 and 5-year-olds, and so just for them to get up there and say anything to us is a big deal to them. So, and they do this every week, which is awesome. It's really fun to see the improvement throughout the year. And then for our review game, I was gonna do this for English since we're singing the song to Happy Birthday, but figured I would save it. So I have this little present, and inside I just have some random dollar store, random little prizes that I found around the house. And so I'm gonna have the kids sit in a circle, and I'm gonna play a song from last week. So the history song, for example, or the Latin song that we did. And as we are singing the song to review, I'm gonna have them pass this present around. When the song stops, then I'm going to have them, or when we stop the song, I'm gonna have them, whoever's holding the present gets to open it and choose a prize. And then I'm gonna make sure everybody gets one. So we're gonna go over each song that we did last week to review. So that is what I'm gonna do for review. I believe that's it. I don't think I forgot anything this time. Yeah, so I hope that helps. And also, if you're curious, I have an Instagram account called Devoted to Littles as well. And I post things throughout our week that we've done with homeschooling that have helped, books that we've read, resources I'm using, stuff like that. So check that out if you're interested. And thanks for watching. Have a great week.